of story time in Brooklyn. We're in Brooklyn today, and cameraman Dan has a special assistant, Molly. Very good. All right, so the story is, it's a little scary, but it's a great story. The name of it is Little Red Riding Hood. Well, let's begin. A long time ago, in a simple cottage beside the deep dark woods, there lived a pretty child called Red Riding Hood. She was kind and considerate. Everybody loved her. Well, one afternoon, Red Riding Hood's mom called to her, "Granny is not feeling up to snuff today, so I've baked her favorite custard as a little surprise. Be a good girl and take it to her, will you?" Red Riding Hood was delighted. She loved going to Granny's, even though it meant crossing the deep, dark woods. When the custard had cooled, Red Riding Hood's mother wrapped it up and put it in a basket. "Now, whatever you do," she said, "go straight to Granny's. Do not tarry, do not speak to any strangers." "Yes, Mama," said Red Riding Hood. Before long, she was in the deepest part of the woods. "Ooh," she said, "this is scary." Suddenly, a large wolf appeared. "Good afternoon, my dear," he said. "Care to stop for a little chat?" "Oh, gracious me," said Red Riding Hood. "Mama said not to speak to any strangers." But the wolf had such charming manners. "And where are you going, sweet thing?" he said. "Well, I'm on my way to visit Granny, who lives in a pretty yellow house on the other side of the woods. And she's feeling poorly, and I'm taking her a surprise." "You don't say," said the wolf. And just then he had a delightful idea. "No reason why I can't eat both of them," he thought. "Allow me to escort you," he said. "You never know what might be lurking about." "You are too kind," said Red Riding Hood. Well, beyond the forest, they came to a patch of sunflowers. "Why not pick a few?" suggested the wolf. "Grannies love flowers, you know that." But while Red Riding Hood was picking up a pretty bouquet, that clever wolf hurried on ahead to Granny's house. "Who is it?" called out Granny. "It is I, your your darling granddaughter," said the wolf in a very high voice. "The door's unlocked. Come on in," said Granny. "Surprise!" cried the wolf. Oh, Granny was furious at having her reading interrupted. "Get out of here, you horrid thing," she cried. But the wolf pushed her aside. She ran into the closet, and he ran into her bed. Just then, he heard footsteps out in the garden. Uh-oh, what's coming next? Losing no time at all, he put on Granny's cap and glasses, pulled up the covers, and pretended to be asleep. "Who is it?" he called out in his sweetest Granny voice. "Oh, it is I, your little granddaughter," said Red Riding Hood. "The door's unlocked," said the wolf. Red Riding Hood was distressed at seeing her grandmother so changed. "Why, Granny," she said, "what big eyes you have." "The better to see you, my dear," said the wolf. "Granny, what long arms you have." "The better to hug you, my dear," said the wolf. "Oh, Granny, what big teeth you have." "Oh, no, the better to scare you with," cried the wolf. "Oh, no, look at him." Oh, sure enough, she ran into the closet too. And the wolf said, "I am so wicked." But he was very, very pleased with himself. And suddenly, a hunter was going by, and he heard someone snoring. "Doesn't sound like Granny," said the hunter. So the hunter came in through the window, looked all around. He saw the wolf, and he said, "Oh, wait a second, where is Granny? Where is Red Riding Hood?" And they began knocking at the door furiously. They were inside the closet. He was knocking. She was knocking, both of them. Oh, no. And he went over to the closet, the hunter, and he opened the door. And there was Granny, and there was Little Red Riding Hood. "It was so dark in there," said Granny, "I could not read a word." Red Riding Hood promised never, ever to speak to strangers again. the wolf ran out the door. He was never, ever seen again in that neighborhood. Oh no. On the way home, guess who Red Riding Hood ran into? Not the wolf. He was long gone. But this was a crocodile. Oh no.
Do you think there's a story about that?
I wonder if there's a story about Red Riding Hood and the crocodile. Good point, Molly. Look at though, she's saying no, she's not going to listen to that crocodile, even if he is very charming. Did you like the story, Molly? Yes, it was a good one, a very good one. And I think we should celebrate November. It's the beginning of November. Since it was election day, I think we should have everyone vote. This should be a day when people vote, correct? All right, so I'll remember some of the children. Maybe you can help me, Molly. The chocolate people will be
Ben and Bee, Molly, Alice, Jolene,
Graham, Audrey, and Lila.
Ben, Audrey, and Lila.
And their cousins up in Marblehead. James and Anna and Maeve, those Wesley and Teddy. Oh, and Riley. As I told you, we met Riley at the pumpkin contest, and she's voting for chocolate again. Very good. And of course, the Schuyler sisters, Angelica, Eliza, and Peggy. The vanilla are Joseph and his brother Christopher, Harris and his sister Maya, Ricky and Emily's niece and nephew, Carson and Nora, and Kai, Lulu, Frida, Coco, Scarlett, Tate, May. And is there any friend of yours that hasn't voted yet, Molly? Rafa and Lily, the two Lilies. Yes, and they're voting for vanilla. All right, let's do the count. All right, it looks to me as if we have 15 chocolate and 14 vanilla. So it's a chocolate cake to celebrate November. All right, let's go. Everybody sing along. Happy November to you. Happy November to you. Happy November, everyone. Happy November to you. Lovely, lovely. Yay. Thank you, cameraman Dan. Thank you, Ariel. Oh, and thank you to our wonderful, wonderful camera assistant, Molly, and also who helped us out throughout the story today. And remember, let's say it all together. 1, 2, 3. We love you all very, very much.